Oh, you're a hefty boy. We gotta go walking. Gotta get you walking, bud. Have some self-respect, Dobby. Yeah, what's good, Beats and Dreams? See you, baby. What's good? What's good? All right. Okay. All right, nice. We are. Guess we can do that. And I really change it. Oh, depressing. Depressing. We'll fix that in post. We'll fix it in post. Let's pop that back in. Yep. Let's pop that back in. All right. And let's change that. All right, yo, what's good? What's good? My name is Dr. Ryan Charles Psych Sensei, and welcome to the stream, baby. Tonight we're be playing some kind words. We open up some letters and see if we can help provide some suggestions or insight, or maybe just some support, just some general kind words to what people may be going through to or expressing. And hey, if there's something you want to get some help on, get some perspective on, put it down in the chat comments, baby. That's what we're here for. And also, if you want to learn more about me and what I do, please visit my website, psychsensei.com. There, you and I can sit down. If you fill out a free consultation form, which is on my website, you can sit down with me and we can figure out what's kind of going on. Maybe give you some suggestions, see if you want to work together, all those kinds of things. That can be found on my website, psychsensei.com. Yeah. So, I was thinking about this stream. I was thinking about this stream after had a really funny story. So I was at this restaurant with some friends, and it was really good. I really liked it. It was all you could eat sushi. Haven't ate all you could eat sushi in a really long time, and I overate for the first time in a really long time like that, because you gotta get your money's worth, right? So here I was trying to get my money's worth. And there was this glass. It is a scene, okay? So tables are like this, okay? We're at the back of the restaurant facing the street, okay? And some people were sitting in the booths. I was sitting in some chairs with some friends, okay? Like, so there's like, we're sitting in the chairs. And then there was this glass panel, okay? That looked out into the street. And you can see the parking lot and the rest of the plaza, all that kind of good stuff, okay? And so right in our view was a bench. Okay, it was a bench that you could just sit on and maybe like eat your ice cream or whatever, because there's like an ice cream shop down the way or whatever. Right, so this is a bench that anyone can sit on facing us, or this glass restaurant window. Okay. In my head, though, in my heart of hearts, what I wanted this window to be is I wanted it to be like a two-way mirror. You know, that's what I thought it was. It was nighttime. I don't know where this belief came from in my head that, oh, this is a two-way mirror. They can see just their reflection when they look at this mirror, but, you know, they can't see out. Or maybe I thought it was a one-way mirror and I can see out and they can't see in. You know, that's what I thought. I thought this was a I can see you, you cannot see me situation. Okay? It was not. That's a spoiler. It was not. Okay? They could totally see me as much as I could see them. Okay? Probably not more, because I was bright red after the end of this one. Okay? Let me set you the scene, though. On this bench, a drama was unfolding in front of me and us, I guess, my friends too, where if you're looking at like, just go TikTok, the green line test. Okay, you know when they take a picture and they look at the green lines to see like where people are leaning and this and that, you know what I mean? That like that green line test. So if you were to take that as a study of this positioning, it was like the guy was like all like leaning into this girl. He was trying to like pull her legs on top of him. Like he was a total like leaning in, you know what I mean? If that green line was like leaning. So the girl was kind of standoffish. She was kind of like in the middle. But then he'd do this weird thing where like he would grab her face. I guess this was him. He'd grab her face and like just like trying to like kiss her like this. It was really weird. And I was watching. I'm not gonna lie. I was staring at this. Just like I was like, oh, this is not looking too good for whatever the situation is, unless like, you know, that's what she knew she was getting into, because it was a lot, you know? Okay. And while this is going on, okay, while I'm seeing this in real time, I'm narrating out loud like, hey, dude, this is like a soap opera I'm watching. Like this is a story I'm making up. Like, I think like they're on like their breakup date, or they're a situationship, or like he caught feelings when she didn't, or like maybe she's playing really hard to get. And so like I was like showing like what I was seeing just due to body language and how I thought it was going with like, and like I thought it was weird. Like, oh, that's funny. I bet you they can't see me, or like this is totally fine to do because like they can't see me. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like laying it out in like, this is how the relationship is going in this fantasy land that I'm making up, you know. But just looking at this body language, it was like watching a soap opera or like a drama movie without subtitles and without sound. That's how it was. Like you just see them outside sitting on this bench and this scene is unfolding in front of you, you know? Okay. So we finish our meal. Okay, Finn. And not only like has this couple been at this bench and then left this bench, but they've also now come back to this bench like 2 to 3 times. Okay, and if you're this couple that I'm describing, I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed by this story, and I hope you can forgive me. I'm so ashamed because we finished the meal. Okay, we finished. They had to roll me out of sushi because I ate just way too much. All right, I just wasn't feeling great. Kind of sushi. Okay, roll me out. They're still on the bench. Okay, they're still on the bench after returning it to it like 3 times. Okay, they're still on the bench, and then we make eye contact, me and the guy at the bench, just like we lock eyes, you know, just, oh my God, like we're having a moment, you know, kind of locking eyes. I'm like, oh my God. And then I asked everyone in the group, do you think they could see me? And everyone was like, bro, I thought you knew, because like you were just so confident in what you were doing that like we thought that there was no way that you didn't know that they could see you. I'm like, they could see me. And we locked eyes. Like the guy looked at me, and in his head he's like, oh dude, you saw everything. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, you saw everything. I was like, oh my God, so shame. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was a 2-way mirror, and it wasn't. It was a fucking window, you know? Okay, and then I kind of panicked, right? In that moment I panicked. I was like, oh no, like this is so embarrassing. Like what could happen, right? My anxious brain popped out. I was like, okay, well, here's some scenarios. Scenario number 1, he does nothing. Okay, does nothing. It was probably worse for the guy, I imagine. You know, maybe, because I knew, you know, about the situation, definitely. And like, it was like, okay, he could say nothing, best case scenario, right? It was just awkward, and we just like walk away. Worst case scenario, he runs at me and he like attacks me physically. Okay, that's pretty bad. Or number 3, like he could just like confront me like, hey bro, like I saw what you were saying, or like insinuating via points and gestures, bro. I saw it, man. That's really offensive. Okay, like, all right. Pretty likely causes, right? Nothing, some type of level of confrontation, right? Okay, fine. All right. Then I asked myself exactly what you said. And I said exactly what you said, Beats and Breaks, man. I said, dude, I wonder what it must have looked like from his POV. You know, like from his perspective, I wonder what he must have been seeing. Cause dude, I was like, and then like, look at the lines. The lines don't lie. And look at their feet. Like his feet is like, he's trying to pull in her feet and she's just, her feet don't want none of that action. You know, like I'm making like these types of gestures in their general direction. Like they could totally see, you know, it wasn't just like, oh, you know, like, oh, look at over there, like, oh, and then no, I was deep in this storytelling, bro. Like it must have looked crazy. Okay, it must have looked absolutely bananas. All right, so then I was thinking, okay, well, if he actually did have some confrontation, what would I say? And I basically thought like, I'm sorry. That's all I could think of. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like you know, from just a casual opinion, it's not gonna go well. Like that would have been the discussion, you know, like as from my professional opinion, it's not gonna go well. And then when he chases me down and I think I just run. Worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario. Or it's America and, you know, guns. But hey, worst case scenario, I get confronted and I say sorry because it doesn't look good. But the other thought I had was, you know, just like I was making up stories about how this situation on this bench was unfolding to me in 4K, in a soap opera like form. And also, again, I'll ask the jury, my chat. If he knew, because he definitely could see me, by the way, why did he keep coming back to this bench? That's my question. It wasn't like there's many benches. Like, I mean, there was shorts of benches. There's many benches, and they're like not all taken. He decided to come back to this bench. Not once, not twice, thrice. Okay? That's another wrinkle of the story that you have to ask yourself. But that's besides the point. The point is, in me making all of this story about him, in actuality, they could be having a great relationship. You know, they could be having a cute, in their mind, maybe a romantic, comedic moment on this bench where they're play fighting and they're like communicating, or like maybe someone's a little salty, but you know, we'll get through it. Or maybe like this is the way that they express themselves, you know? So who's to judge what kind of experience they were having? Because I was telling a different story that I was just making up. You know what I mean? And then from his POV, he was probably just making up a story about this crazy person on the other side of this window. Not a two-way mirror, this fucking window. About this guy like seeing all the letters and numbers, like that meme that's going around on TikTok right now. The don't freak out, letters and numbers in my head, letters and numbers, like that from Transformers, like that. But then from that thought, it got me thinking, like, just like I was making up stories about him, he was probably making up stories about me, which are totally not true and not accurate about the world, but they're just stories that two strangers made up for each other. Then my thought was, hey, how often do we tell these stories about other people, about a situation, about a relationship, about something? Or, hey, maybe if it's too close from home, I wonder even what the stories we tell about ourselves, about what's possible, about what people think about us, about what we're worth and what people like about us, instead of really thinking what's actual, real, and true. But then again, I guess from that perspective, like what's actual, real, and true is like it's all about relativity. It's all what you believe and think for yourself, right? So if that's true, then you could actually change yourself by just changing the narrative or the story or things that you tell about yourself from that perspective, right? But yeah, that was the funny story. It wasn't a fucking two-way mirror. It was a window, and we both saw each other like crazy people. Like, sorry, not the label, but like but just the perspectives of me, just like Charlie, that meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's got like all that paper and all that stuff, and he's like smoking a cigarette, and he's like making up. That was me. I had the whole thing mapped out. This is how long they were dating. This is how they met. This is not fight number whatever. Like I had it all like on like I had it. It's hilarious. It was hilarious. But then it was so embarrassing. All right. So the challenge from that story and lesson from that story is, hey, what stories and beliefs do you tell yourself? What are those things? Are they good for you? Do they get in their way? Do they hamper you? That's all. All right. So you guys turn shame into gratitude. That's that lesson right there, baby. All right. So this is our back to kind words. We're gonna try to take some notes. Okay. All right. Our first letter. All right, nice one. Thank you. All right. And also, if you have a request for a letter or something like that, you just let me know and I can write it down for you. For your friend, it doesn't have to be for you. It could be for anybody, Whoever. All right. Oh, not that. Okay. Your request. Hey, anything the matter? Hey, how are you doing? Anything the matter? Okay. Here's my question. From this question, because how many times do you hear this question? Hey, how are you? How are things going? Like, how's your day? How's your family? Like these small talk questions where you're supposed to say, good, fine, they're okay, everything's great, like, well, how do you think people would respond, or what do you think would actually happen if you were like, dude, listen, my life is actually kind of a hot mess right now? Like, how many people do you think would actually care? Ooh, maybe that in itself is a litmus test per se to see your relationship and your closeness to somebody, of how real you would be in being willing to answer this question. And maybe at the same time, this question would also be a litmus test for you if you're asking it to see how close you are with someone and how real would you want them to be. Because, like, don't get me wrong. Like, sure, you want everyone to be real with you. Don't get me wrong. You'd want people to be like, yeah, I want to be real with you, but like, would you really sit down and think about it? There's a hierarchy of people probably who you care about and like where they fall in your inner circle of beings. And so like this question, I think is really, or you could use this question instead of see it like another thing about like, I hate small talk, blah, 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 blah. But if you hate small talk, you could also use this question as a, what are they really going to tell me? And then maybe if you want to really push it, be like, oh no, like, how are you really doing? Or like, let me ask you a probing question about what you just said. Okay. Oh, my family's good. Okay. And ask a follow-up question. Do you know something about their mom, or maybe something about their school that they're studying, or maybe something that they're talked about before? Like, you can actually probe about that. Yo, what's up, Ultralisk? What's up, baby? How are you? Welcome back. So, this question. Ooh, let's write this down for us. Jump. Deeper questions. And also can be used as a test to see how close and comfortable you are with those people. There was also another TikTok. I have to make a video about this. And basically what it was is like people in a line and they're giving hugs to people. And I think it was a friend group or something like that. What was really, really interesting was like you could actually tell in this group just by like how close they were and hugging, like what kind of relationship they had with each other. Or sure, trauma, maybe it's also a physical touch and what I prefer or not. But if you're amongst your friends, hopefully that goes down. But what I'm saying is like you could really see physically as like represented, like physically and as a physical representation of their closeness of a relationship by how they embrace each other or how they looked holding each other or approaching a hug together, like, or you know, like there's so much body language in that. So the reason why I bring that up is like if you're thinking about a friend too, think about how you guys hug, you know, think about how you interact physically, how comfortable you are around them. Like I think what's really cool about these small talk questions is that they could actually lead you into more information if you just observed and were curious about them, you know? So yeah. This as a level of comfortability test. Cool. All right. If you've got ADHD and depression, dang, you're doing a lot and feeling really bad a lot, man. Okay, how do you stay motivated? You know, even without that question of ADHD and even without those qualifiers of ADHD and depression, how you stay motivated is a challenging question in itself, man. Like, oh, how do you stay motivated? Because here's the thing about motivation, man, which is really kind of rough. Like, the hard thing about motivation is like when you first start, you have so much of it. Like, if we think about like motivation as like a resource, like we think it's infinite, right? Or if we think that like just because we have it right now, we're forever and always gonna have it. But in actuality, like just like any resource, it gets burnt through really quickly or it gets used, you know? And I mean, if we're going to equate motivation to a resource, and if we think about it in kind of like fuels, I would think like motivation is like jet fuel, baby. Like it burns super fast, it burns super hot, it can make you go super high and fly super fast, you know, like it's jet fuel. Like you do like that's the quality of that fuel, you know? Like it's just woo great. But I mean, what goes up must come down. I mean, it'd be awesome if you could maintain that motivation all the time. And if you think you can maintain that level of high motivation all the time, and you are maybe that 1% that can, you're that David Goggins of motivation or endurance, like you're just like you are Michael Phelps, you are Katie Ledecky, you are Usain Bolt, you are just a genetic freak. You're just built different, you know? But if you're an average person, you think that, or you just, you know, you may not have that, welcome to the club. It's challenging and it's hard. And it's not really typical for everyone to have that high motivation gene all the time. So that's when the discipline kicks in. That's when the structures kick in. That's when the patterns of behaviors and habits come in. So even though it feels hard and it sucks and you don't want to do it, you still are able to persevere and push through. You know, like what I'm trying to say is it's normal to lose motivation, and it's okay if you don't always have motivation. But that's when we go back down to discipline. That's when we go back to values. That's when we go back down to what's the purpose of this thing, to help you realize I need to keep going because I want this thing. Because the fire of I just want this thing, I'm gonna go for it, whee, is gone. You know what I mean? So, okay. I have a very important exam I need to study for that'll be in 2 months, and I'm finding it very hard to get myself to do it consistently / enough. Anyone feel the same or have any advice? Take care. Yeah, the troll advice or piece of advice is just let the anxiety take over. You know? I mean, I guess that's the biggest difference between people with anxiety symptoms and people with depressed symptoms. I've noticed is people with depressed symptoms just want to lay and just don't want to. Maybe sometimes they shut down and they don't want to. They avoid it and they don't want to do it. You know, anxious people they too want to avoid and not do it, but they're doing something in the background. They're cleaning the house. You know, they're cleaning their desktop. Maybe they're cleaning their phone. Maybe they're making their room very tidy. Maybe there's other things that they're like avoid doing. Maybe they're playing video games. You know, I guess you could be sad playing video games, but I'm just associating anxiety with like more doing action behaviors when they're anxious and stuff like that. Doing the procrastination, typically it has the same vibes and flavors of I need pressure to perform my best. You know, that's got that same kind of vibe. But someone with anxiety might be like, oh my god, I need to study. If not, I'm gonna die, or if not, I'm gonna like fail. You know, like that's the anxiety piece to it. But if you're depressed with ADHD, like you have a lot of thoughts, but you just don't want to do anything. Maybe that's the unlucky combo, you know? But I get it, man. Have you ever had to study for a test? A very hard test, and maybe you don't feel the greatest, or maybe you feel really scattered, and you just don't feel very motivated. I mean, what? Just in general, I'm just curious for all y'all in the chat, like, when you are unmotivated, you know, how do you regain that motivation? How do you stick to your disciplines? How do you pep yourself up? How do you keep, I guess the question is, and you can just answer it for all of us, how do you keep going? No, things get hard. How do you just keep going? How do you keep trucking? Hopefully maybe we can help. That's like, you know, when you really think about it like that, it's kind of a big question, you know? How do you keep going? Nope. Okay. All right. If you got ADHD and depression, how do you stay motivated? I have a very important exam. I need to study for it. That'll be in 2 months. I'm finding it very hard to get myself to do it consistently / enough. Ooh, I guess another word in there is enough. How do you know if you'll ever study enough? You know, there's always more you can study. There's always more you can read. There's another flashcard you can flip. You know, so like, how do you know when you've studied enough, or you feel comfortable about the information that you do know? I think that's another thing you can define as a student. Okay. Yep. That's a very good question. Exclamation point. It's like a banger question. Structurally, see, this is the thing. Structurally, the skill here is, all right, you know what's going to be on, if you know what's going to be on the exam, and you have some type of study material or some study guide or whatever, you can actually pace out the material to very, like, visually to see how much material you're going to study on a certain day. And then, or you could do some soft science. You could take the material and you could study for a day, like 2 hours. Click, go, study for 2 hours. See how much you could actually retain and study and how efficient that 2 hours was. And then after that 2 hours or an hour or whatever, you can now base future studying about how efficient it was in that hour time. You know what I mean? How many chapters can you do? How many cards can you flip? Whatever you feel like is enough for you, or you feel comfortable with that material. And then from there, we just pace out like the 2 months. we fit in there, like, because time's a resource. We just allocate that resource. Um, and you can pace out your studying that way. Just focus on the important stuff and ignore the rest useless you want 100%. Yeah, exactly. Like, but just structurally, right? That's the skill. All you need is to make sure that you have enough time to even sift out what's important or not. It's a good point, Ultralisk. Or like, what do you think is important, which you spend more time on, and the harder things or whatever. Like you can power scale and structurally do it. Here's the thing, though. That's a great plan, right? Great strategy, 100%. Do so, pat myself on the back. The problem is, sometimes that's not enough for someone to be like, all right, I'm gonna do it now. I'm in bed or I'm laying down and I feel bad, but you know what? I'm gonna do the skill anyway. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do the thing. So the whole like physically making yourself do it, that's a different type of question. Because sometimes it's like I'm gonna force myself. Sometimes it's okay, I'm anxious and I don't want to fail. Okay, sometimes it's but if it's just depression and it feels bad, like that's something that because ADHD we can wrangle, right? That is a wrangling thing. We can beat it. We put some blinders on it. We can like poke it to make it move. But the depression, if you don't want to do it, it's a harder fix. But let's get this one. Have you tried planning out what you need to planning and pacing out what you need to study and how and what you need to study for you, Ultralisk, where to focus your studying and where to focus your studying and and how much time you can allocate. Study a day. Keep it simple. More interestingly, what do you think is the biggest hurdle to you staying motivated? Thinking about, because honestly, like, I think if you were to actually stay and think about what moves you, or like what makes you tick, or like what it's the thing that makes you want to study or could push you, because I mean, sure, your core value, your core belief could be, I say I do it, like that could be your thing. And if that's your thing, nice. I'm jealous of you. But for most people, they can't always force themselves to do it. They don't have that strong bond like those other people. So for you, like, what is that thing that makes you move, the reason why you're doing it? And then from there, if you remember it, oftentimes it helps you move forward, in your deepest, darkest times. What makes knowing what moves you and help you remember, can help you stay on course even when you don't feel like it. It's okay. It's also okay to lay. You can't study. Can't study if you're too stressed out. Remember. Good luck, have fun. Like Sensei. my god. Oh my god. There we go. Have a frog. All right. Man, that's rough. That is rough. Okay. If you got ADHD and depression, how do you stay motivated? I have a very important exam I need to study for that'll be in 2 months, and I'm finding it very hard to get myself to do it consistently / enough. Anyone feel the same or have any advice? Take care. Okay. Ooh, that's another question. That's another question. Okay. Nice. All right, so from there. That's a good question. Have you tried planning and pacing out what you need to study, where to focus on your studying, and how much time you can study a day? More interestingly, maybe I should put a... Oh. More interestingly, what do you think is the biggest hurdle to you staying motivated? Oh, that's the last one. To staying motivated. Knowing what moves you can help you stay on course even when you don't feel like it. It's also okay to lay and take a break. Remember, you can't study if you're too stressed out. And also, stress makes you stupid. It shuts down your frontal lobe, so you literally cannot think well. That's why, even in like gaming, you're not playing at your like most optimal performance like stages. You are in a stressed stage, you know? What is happening? I have to do it manually. So cringe. All right, what else we got here, baby? All right, man. Seriously, some of these letters are really interesting. To grieve deeply is to have loved fully. Those words stuck with me now that I've separated, and yet I find myself grieving longer than I've wanted to. It's been ages since you left, but I still somehow find a reason to say I still love you, and I hope you're doing well. Man. Grief is a weird thing, you know? And I think the thing that gamers don't realize too is like y'all go on like, or we go on mini grief cycles every single game. Every single season, we go through so many stages of grief. You know, like we bargain, we get mad, we get depressed, we come to accept, and we climb. And then we start slipping, and then we get mad, and we depressed, and then we start, you know, bargaining, and then we accept, and then we get bet. You know, like we go through grief cycles all the time. So we practice this as gamers, you know, or as people, we practice this. But at the same time, I think it's on a different level. You know, if you're divorcing or separating from somebody, you've been with this person for a really long time, whether the relationship was toxic or great or just grew separately, you know, like you still know that person and you have a lot of memories with this person and developed together as a unit with this person, you know, and or even a boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, it's all relative, baby. It's all relative. I guess it's hard too because it's hard to say where the grieving process is going to take you or how long it's going to take or where it's going to go. They typically say if it was like deep and meaningful, strong relationships, it's half the time you're in a relationship with them. So if you're in a year relationship, like 6 months, 2 years, a year, I did that math in my head. You know what I mean? That's what they typically say, but each has their own process and the time may be different for each person. But I think along that process, there is, you know, some people have two different perspectives on this. One perspective is like, okay, once we break up, you're dead to me. You know, like I'm not gonna think about you. I'm not gonna like talk to you. I'm not gonna like involve you. You know, it might be some people like if we break up, I hate you, and it's really bad, and I'm hoping like bad things upon you. You know, and then you have the other camp. There's third camp. It's like, or maybe there's four camps. The third camp's like, I love you still, but not just like that. We can be friends and we can talk and just like do all the things, but just be friends and stuff, you know? And like there's this another camp probably in the middle somewhere. But there's no right or wrong answer where exes should go. In these camps, there are your own relationships and how you want them to be, but typically they're in some of these camps. But I do think for some people, you know, one of the pieces is like just hoping the best for someone and, you know, still loving them or loving who they were and what you had together and loving that piece and then being able to move on, you know, and you don't wish harm, like bad things upon them, you know, and this is all to say, asterisk, this could be just this one time or, you know, in this stage where you are, it could cycle and that's totally fine. But, I think for this is like, you know, if you want them to be happy and great and that's part of your grieving process or getting over them, that's awesome, you know? And there's nothing wrong with saying this. I hope this is one of those like releasing moments for you and them of like, I feel so good letting this go, you know, that they're in their process. So maybe we just comment on the process of, hey, see you're going through the process and seems like it's going well. Stay strong, maybe. Damn, this hit. I see you are well on your way. Well on your way in your healing process. Your feelings are yours and valid. Try to continue experiencing your feelings as they come with curiosity and not self-judgment. You are stronger. Good luck. Have fun. Psych. Honestly, I don't think this person needs anything. They just probably need some, I see yous. You got this. You're going through your process. You know? At least that's the vibe I'm going for. Alright. Here we go. To grieve deeply is to have fully loved, which I think is true. Like, that's the weird thing too about love, right? Like, to actually love somebody and to be in relationship with somebody and for someone to know you, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. And as willing and as vulnerable and as deep as that relationship is, it will feel amazing and awesome and last for, you know, I was gonna say last for a long time, just to continue the joke, but like, it's gonna be like fulfilling. It's gonna be meaningful, you know? It's gonna be scary though, because someone's gonna know not only the best parts of you, but also the worst parts of you. They're gonna know your good habits and your bad habits. They're gonna know, you know, those fun things you think, and also the dark thoughts that you thought only you knew. Or like if somebody knew these thoughts or parts of you that they would hate you or be like, run away, you know? Like, once you have that depth of relationship, of course, like when they leave or something happens, like all that depth is going to be sore and be painful. But that's exactly what this means. Like, it is this weird trade of for this much vulnerability, safety, and depth of relationship, when it is removed, you do feel as bad as great, you know? But you need that trade for you to know that it was a good relationship, or, you know, hopefully it was toxic. I mean, but anyway, to grieve deeply is to have loved fully. Those words stuck. Those words stuck with me now that we've separated, and yet I find myself grieving longer than I've wanted to. It's been ages since you left, but I still somehow find a reason to say I love you. I hope you're doing well. I got, damn, this hit. I see you are well on your way. I see you're on your way in your healing process. Your feelings are yours and valid. Try to continue experiencing your feelings as they come with curiosity and not self-judgment. You are stronger than you know. Good luck. Have fun. Like Sensei. I see you. I see you on your healing process. You get them. You get them. You go get them. All right. You guys have time for a couple more here. Got some time. How can I learn to speak a new language? I speak Spanish, then I learned English when I was a child, and now at 20s, I'm learning a bit of French. You know, honestly, I don't think they need advice. I feel like they just want to humble brag that they could speak more than one language. You think you're better than me as a monolinguist, huh? Buddy, let me tell you something, all right? I wish I could speak more languages. And I envy you. Stop making me feel bad about myself. And now I'm 20s, I'm learning a bit of French, show off. Which is the best language I should learn? Chinese. Chinese. I mean, statistically, Chinese. Right? I kind of want to be snarky right back. Show off. It wouldn't be very kind of me, though. Yeah, I mean, interesting thing about like Chinese and Japanese is they said that if you are bad at English language or romantic language, it might be easier for you because it deals with tone and pictures instead of letters and stuff. That's what I heard. I don't know. Yeah, this guy's a show off, bro. Show off. Yeah, show off. Okay. How to not panic when dating. You know, I hope if you're dating that you don't panic. And I hope the person that you're on a date with makes you feel very comfortable. You know what I mean? And you're not like mid-date thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Or like activate, find my phone, you know, for my friends. Like, I hope that's not what it is. But, okay. How to not panic when dating. I'm going on a 5th date with a guy Monday. Hey, seems like it's going well, right? I mean, I wonder, maybe that's not consecutive, but maybe it's like, you know, I think it's 5th day total. I think it's like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know? And we held hands for the first time on our last date. Ooh, they went to the zoo. Nice. I wonder what kind of pickup line he used, you know, like was he like walking down and they're going, you know, looking at all the animals and he's like, you know, hey yo girl, or hey yo guy, and they're like, what? And they're like, I was just thinking, you know, they're walking, you know, I was just thinking, yo, if you're a zookeeper and you were watching the parrots, would you put them on your right shoulder, left shoulder, or your right one? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there was like a zoo themed pickup line. Because if so, that'd have been sick. But I digress. And hey, you can totally use that zoo pickup line if you'd like. All right. So recap. I think this is good. This is not like panic. I think this is excitement panic. You know what I mean? So they went to the movies. They held hands on the zoo. And I'm so anxious. We're both 24. So this is age appropriate behavior. I'm glad. This is great. Age appropriate behavior. We love that. It's been a month since we've met. And this is the first time dating intentionally. Okay, wait. Let's break that last part down. Okay, this is where things get funny. it's been a month since we've met. Okay, so things are, they've seen each other once a week plus a date, right? Fifth date. So they've been seeing each other frequently. Um, Here's the thing that's kind of like, my first time dating intentionally. Okay, so what you're telling me is that it's been going really well for a month with this person that you went to the zoo and the movies with. Let's just celebrate wins where we can, right? Like, that seems like it's going well. Okay. This is the thing, though. Why is dating why is this a bad thing? Could it be a, ooh, pinch me? This is real? Because if so, baby girl or baby boy, it seems like this is legit. This seems great. Why are we looking for something wrong? Do we want something to be wrong? Are we self-sabotaging? Or are we humble bragging about our 7 languages? What are you concerned about? Because if you're dating intentionally, you must also, by this statement, be intentionally looking for the things you want to find, or at the same time, not find in a partner. So I'm guessing if this is something intentional that you're doing, you're probably looking for these things too, which is great. So again, if you're dating intentionally, you're looking for these things, you're at least maybe qualifying people that you're going on dates with or something, right? Like, this is not a situationship. This doesn't seem to be a blind date thing. This seems to be like, hey, I want to date you. I'm in a place maybe where I'm ready to date or feel secure in myself or whatever you want to be, wherever you want to be. So this seems fine. I don't think this is a panic. I don't think this is an anxiety. I think this is an excitement. And, fun fact, they do feel and are the same thing in the body. So if this says something exciting for you, this is great. This is great. All right, we got this one. That's how we'll frame this one. I do think this is an exciting. I've never, this is, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't felt like this in a while, but this is exciting. All right. After reading this over a couple of times, I don't think, yes, you may be feeling anxious, and even a little panicky. They use their own words, right? I spell panicky. Is that it? Panicky? Panicky? Panicky. He's making it sound Japanese. Panicky. Oh! That's how you spell it, boys and girls. First try. First try. Oh my god. Wait, why? Why can you guys not see it? Okay. That is odd. Has that been like that the entire time? I'm so sorry. That's my friends. There you go. And that's why I need to build. Right. Good practices. Good practices. Good practices. Okay. So, panicky. Yes, you may even be feeling anxious and even a little panicky. At the same time, I think it sounds more like you're kind of excited to be dating someone you may actually like. Question mark? You like? We don't have to look for something wrong. Maybe with this in parentheses. Unless we want unless we want something to be wrong. ... Some fun facts, anxiety and excitement. Same sensation. Traumatic. Um, it's just how we interpret that makes it so. Good luck, have fun. Psych Sensei. I have a frog. Yeah, that's the fun thing about excitement and anxiety is that they're literally the same thing biologically. Like they make you feel the same somatic symptoms. But the only thing that's different in anxiety and excitement is the way that you perceive the somatic behavior or the somatic functions. Okay. This one, sight, anxiety, feel the same. Difference is the insert. What's the other one? Intentional. Oh yeah. Being intentional in what you look for, comma, are you looking for problems? Why? Okay. Maybe we link this at the bottom. Maybe I can show the Twitch bits, but not show. All right, this was fun. This was fun. I think this was an improvement, or we improved here. All right, so this was very fun. I enjoyed this. I gotta send this. All right. Thank you, my dear, for sending that for us. Okay. All right, friends. Thanks for coming to the stream and hanging out for a little bit. Sorry that maybe my scene was a little jacked up for a small period of time. But, you know, we started this stream talking about making ass of ourselves, being in front of a window, and it being very embarrassing. That led to us thinking about these things. But from today's little session of kind words, you know, what I really liked was the fact of if you hate small talk, you don't always have to just participate in the small talk. What this letter reminded me of is you can always use small talk as a jumping off point to guiding a conversation into being something deeper than just, hey, how was your day? You know, that question could be turned into, hey, what was the best part of your day? Hey, what was the worst part about your day? What's the part of the day you wish you could relive? Like, whatever. But to make those questions and to really get that conversation going, all you really need to be curious about, what do you want to know? And can you spend a little bit of time thinking about maybe a question to make the conversation a little more spicy? And also, think about those like small talk questions from a different perspective. And what I mean by that is like, hey, how comfortable are you if someone was actually to tell you, hey, this is really how my day was, and like go into something? Like, would you feel comfortable hearing that from that person, asking, you know, if you ask them that question? And at the same time, if someone asked you that question, how comfortable would you be sharing all that information to that person? That can, you know, from a different perspective, lead you to think about what type of relationship you have with that person, how much you actually care for that person. Do you like that person? You know, just a different way of thinking about how to use those small talk questions. And then I think another thing when that letter was talking about like studying enough or how to be motivated or like how do I stay motivated or keep going when I have no motivation, you know, something that letter really made me think about was like, how do you know when you've done enough, when you've done enough studying, when you've done enough working, when you've done enough whatever, playing, training? Like, what does the end goal look like? Or if you're going to say, hey, this is what enough would look like, because oftentimes it's often like, I feel like enough is like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like it always moves and it's never you think you're somewhere, you're getting closer, and then it's not, and then it moves again, you know? So, like, what does enough look like? And then how do you stay motivated, bro? Like, how do you keep moving forward? What are the techniques that you have to remember what drives you? Those kind of things. Like, how do you stay disciplined? What's the system you've created around that? I think that's always good to know. And this last one that we kind of talked about, you know, the thing that made me think about is, like, they said they're intentionally dating, and they said, like, oh my god, I'm so worried because of this thing is going well, but this is the first time I'm intentionally dating. So the question then becomes, like, how intentional are you in the things that you're doing? And if you're being intentional in finding those things or doing those things, why are you surprised when they're actually going the way you want? You know? So yeah. And also, we can end this on, sometimes excitement and anxiety, they feel the same because they are the exact same somatic response. Anxiety and excitement, like, they're the exact same thing. Your body goes through the exact same ways of being in those two states. It's just the perception about what we believe and think about those states and what those states do or mean to us that change our experience of them. So yeah. All right, friends. Well, you're joining me on the Twitter, on the Twitches or on the YouTube. Yo, thanks for coming. Beats and Dreams, what's good? Ultralist, what's good too? Tyson Sphere, also, thanks for coming out and hanging out. And if you came on the TikToks, thanks for checking me out too. Consider giving me a follow and get all that content. Speaking of content, if you want all the content, so please visit my website, psychsensei.com. There you can get more resources or more things, more links to my Instagram, my Discord, all of it. Speaking of my Discord and things I want to host, I'm actually thinking about this, and this is in the pipes. So what I'm thinking about is creating a mindfulness group. Like, if you want to come at like 9 o'clock EST or whatever, we'll do a 30-minute mindfulness walkthrough, or 5 to 10-minute mindfulness for the beginners, you know, with like a 5-minute practice, with like a 5-minute, maybe make it a 15-minute thing every morning. And then I think that'd be pretty cool. Another thing I'm thinking about having is a article of the week and going over that together in my Discord. So instead of posting stuff on Twitch, taking the people who are interested and then posting something in the Discord like that. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing the mindfulness first. I just have to figure out how to do it so people can come. I think the live thing would be kind of cool, but I also think that recording it and having it, but I feel like asymmetrical mindfulness might be kind of kitschy, but maybe that's just me being in my own head again. So probably when I come back from Japan, we'll start having it, but I want to start hyping it now. So mid-October, I'm thinking about starting something like that. So get the word out, get hyped. If you're not a part of the Discord, make sure you get a link to it. You can be there, but visit my website, you know, now, and I'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. PST. Some more kind words, I'm still planning. All right, friends. Well, take it easy. Love you. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Please be safe, and remember, mwah, stronger mental wins. Peace. Bye. Shout out to Breaks and Beats and Breaks, Ultralisk, as always, and Ice on Sphere, baby. Join me tonight. Chats. Love yous. Bye.